Have you started your book journey yet? If you haven't, not to worry. We all struggle to achieve our goals. Sometimes some people succeed and some are not able to find a way around. But if you stick till the end of this video, I can guarantee you would have read at least 2 to 3 pages by the end of this video. And then you can tell me in the comments below the video as to if your reading journey really began or not. Hello guys, I'm Nagendra Brisht and I'm a book YouTuber. I come up with videos which are about books, book reviews, how-to tutorials, and how you can quickly improve your book reading skills. And if you are a beginner, how you can make sure that you pick that book that has been lying there in your bookshelf for a long time, or at least go order one for yourself from Amazon or various other online bookstore. And if you like this video, then share it with your friends, with people who would need this video, and subscribe to this channel. And I'm sure I will keep coming up with videos which are interesting, which are informative, and which talk about books in an interesting way. My mission is to bring you video through my various social media platforms, be it Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram, through Insta stories, videos where talk about different books and also how it can make you pick that book that you really want to read. Today I will talk about a video which is close to my heart, because I believe if you know how to read a book and start on this journey, it becomes a lot more easier. Not only that, in today's video you will get a hands-on experience of books that I have chosen for you. These books have stood the test of time, are really popular, and are from really popular writer, and I don't think so you would not know about them. Today we'll talk about these books in a very different way. What is it all about? Let's watch the video to know more. So the book that I'm going to read today, I will not give you the title or the name of the book yet, but let me read out the first page of this book. So here I begin. The boy's name was Santiago. Dusk was falling as the boy arrived with his herd at an abandoned church. The roof had fallen in long ago, and an enormous sycamore had grown on the spot where the sacristy had once stood. Now, this is the most popular work of a celebrated writer of our times, Paulo Coelho. I believe some of you might have guessed the name of the book by now, and if you haven't, let me give it to you. The name of the book is Alchemist. I bought this book a long time back, at least 15 years back, and the moment I started reading this book, I could understand that this is a bestseller. And it was a bestseller at that point in time. There was no doubt about it. That's why I think I got interested in the book in the first place. But if you, as a beginner or as somebody who hasn't heard of Paulo Coelho and this work, which is hard, it's hard to understand if you have missed this book. But if you haven't, then the moment you read the first paragraph that I've just read to you, you will grasp the beauty of the prose and the simple way of explaining each thing. Now, if you haven't gotten it yet, let me break it for you. So when he says to you in the first page, the boy's name was Santiago. Such a simple sentence, a 4-word sentence. The boy's name was Santiago. So we can understand that this boy's name is Santiago. Dusk was falling as the boy arrived with his herd at an abandoned church. Not a difficult sentence again, very simple. Somebody who hasn't read a book would grasp or understand this sentence right away. But again, let me explain to you some of the words which some of you might find difficult. Dusk. Dusk is a time of the day when the sun is about to set, time of the day when daylight will disappear and night will arrive. So that which we call sham in Hindi, evening time. So the dusk was falling as a boy arrived with his herd. Herd is a collection of animal. So you can understand from the fact that the boy is a shepherd and he arrives at an abandoned church. Abandoned place is a place which is not in use currently, is in ruins or is left. So this church that he's arrived at is it's not in use. People don't worship here anymore. The roof had fallen in long ago. So you see, the next sentence explains it clearly. Abandoned, and that's why the roof had fallen in long ago. And an enormous sycamore is a tree, and a big tree has grown on the spot where the sacristy had once stood. Now, sacristy meaning it's a place where the priest changes his clothes, or some of the important artifacts or important objects for the church are kept in that place, sacristy. So where that roof was there, now enormous sycamore stands there, and the roof had fallen long ago because it's an abandoned church. So I think you can clearly understand what this paragraph is all about. Let's explore it further. He decided to spend the night there. He saw to it that all the sheep entered through the ruined gate, and then laid some planks across it to prevent the flock from wandering away during the night. This boy, decided to spend the night at the abandoned church. Now, he also made sure that all the sheep, that the herd, the group of animals, which is sheep here, entered through the ruined gate. The gate which is abandoned in the abandoned church. Ruined means it's completely, it's not in a good condition, ruined. And then laid some planks. Plank is a piece of wood. Okay, so he put some planks from one end of the gate to the other end, so that his sheep does not move out of the church or escapes from the church. So he ensured that by keeping those wooden planks, he is keeping the sheep, the herd, inside the church where he is. So there were no wolves in the region, but once an animal had strayed during the night. Strayed means losing direction or moving to another place from where it is presently. And the boy had to spend the entire next day searching for it. The writer is giving us an idea that at one point in time in his life, the shepherd, Santiago's herd, few of the sheep strayed out, and he had to spend the entire next day to look for the sheep, which has gone missing. Back to the story. He swept the floor. Swept means cleaning it with his jacket. So with his jacket, he swept the floor and lay down. He just lied down, using the book he had just finished reading as a pillow. For a pillow, he's using the book. He told himself that he would have to start reading thicker books. He said to himself that he will start reading books which are thicker, which are big. They lasted longer and made more comfortable pillows. So these books would last longer, obviously, because they are big, thicker books, and will make comfortable pillow because of the size of the thickness of the book. Let's explore it further. It was still dark when he awoke, and looking up, he could see the stars through the half-destroyed roof. It was still dark. It was dark, and when he woke up from his sleep, he looked up, and since the church was abandoned, destroyed, he could see, because the roof had fallen in long ago, which we just read in the previous paragraph, he could see the stars through that roof, because he was lying down, and he just woke up and his eyes looked at the roof, which is not there, and he could see the stars up in the sky through the half-destroyed roof. Now, we have approached almost the end of page 1, just one paragraph left. Through this beautiful 3 paragraph that I've just read out to you and explained to you, the meaning of a difficult word, you can get, it's such a simple and interesting read. You could visualize as this boy, Santiago, is on this journey where he is with his sheep, and all the struggle or all the his daily life. It's been explained. Now let me give you a brief of this book, a little idea about what this book is all about. It's a story of a boy called Santiago, who is a shepherd boy, and he wants to travel the world. And in the process, he wants to find treasure. Now, he journeys from his home in Spain to the markets of Tangiers. Tangiers is a place somewhere in, I think, Africa or around that region, and into the Egyptian desert. So he goes to Egypt, and there he meets an alchemist. And who is an alchemist? Alchemist is a person who turns metal into gold, and that's his expertise. But what this particular book teaches to you is the wisdom in listening to our hearts. If you believe in something, then follow it, and really believe in what your heart says to you, because the heart will tell you the truth. It will give you signs along the path, and you have to just pick the right signs, or pick the signs for that matter, and go with your heart full-fledged. And if you do that, you will succeed in life. You will achieve that treasure that you're looking for. And this is what this book talks about. Now, the beauty of the prose, the simple words of the writer, and a beautiful visual depiction of what's happening in that story is the beauty of this book. And I hope this particular reading session of this, just one page of this book will get you interested in reading this book. And I think you have read one page with me right now, right? Let me know in the comments below if you liked it. And one more thing that I would like to talk to you about is the process as to how I approach any book, or for that matter, this book, The Alchemist, mentally. When I'm reading a book, if it is an interesting book, it's a popular book, it's pretty easy, pretty understandable that you'd want to explore the book. But in this particular book, when I read it the first time, I found the words, the whole prose, very easy to understand and very evocative. I could visualize the shepherd going with his herd to various places, exploring it. And as it happened in my mind, that exploration of Santiago with his herd, I wanted to read the next paragraph to understand what's going to happen in the next page. And when that happens, you want to read further. So that's how I explore a book. If it's easy to understand, and if the story, the prose, and the plot, as I turn the page, becomes interesting. So this is how I go about in my head, and I'm sure it will give you a fair bit of idea as to how you can do that too. Now, the second book that I'd like to talk about is, well, before that, I will again go back to that same practice of reading the paragraph to you first. Now, again, this is the first page of this book. Mariam was 5 years old the first time she heard the word harami. It happened on a Thursday. It must have, because Mariam remembered that she had been restless and preoccupied that day, the way she was only on Thursdays, the day when Jalil visited her at the Kolba. Now, this particular paragraph and the lines talks about Mariam, who is a 5-year-old girl, and she was 5 years old when she heard the word harami. Harami means bastard in English. So you can understand the bad word was spoken to a 5-year-old. She heard it. It happened on a Thursday. It must have, because Mariam remembered that she had been restless and preoccupied. Preoccupied means when you're engaged in a particular work the whole time. You don't think about other work. Because on Thursday, is when Jalil visited her. So Jalil is someone who's probably an important figure, and he visited her at the Kolba. Kolba could be a local place in their local, region, and that's where she met Jalil. And so who is Jalil? The mystery builds in the first page itself. To pass the time until the moment that she would see him at last, crossing the knee-high grass. The grass is so high that it comes to the knee. So she is making an effort to reach him. She's crossing the knee-high grass despite the fact that she's only 5 years old. In the clearing and waving, Mariam had climbed a chair and taken down her mother's Chinese tea set. So she took her mother's Chinese tea set with her and climbed the chair in order to reach him. The tea set was the sole relic that Mariam's mother Nana had of her own mother, who had died when Nana was 2. The tea set was the sole relic. Relic is an object which is passed down from generation to generation, and it was Nana, who was Mariam's mother. When she was 2, her mother passed it to Nana, and Nana gave it to Mariam, of course. So Nana cherished each blue and white porcelain piece. Porcelain is a material which is used to make tea set, and the graceful curve of the pot spout. So the spout is a place from where the tea comes out. So that curve, which is of the tea set, is graceful. And the hand painted finches, somebody has hand painted finches is a bird, and chrysanthemum is a flower. The dragon, they have all been hand painted on the sugar bowl as well, meant to ward off evil. Ward off means to prevent, to keep away. So, this beautiful teapot has been explained in detail by the writer on the first page itself, which means that this tea set is an important, a very dear object that has been passed down from generation to generation, and Miriam takes it with her. Why? To probably offer tea to Jalil, we don't know, and she wants it to wants him to have it. So which means that he's a very important person. So that's how the thing builds in your head as a reader, and if it's building up, you are on the right path, and you would want to explore the other paragraphs too. So after such a long explanation, such a long read, I like to tell you about the book, and the book is A Thousand Splendid Sun by Khaled Hosseini. This is a wonderful book, a very popular book by this popular writer. Another book by him called Kaitrana, but this is the one that I'd recommend, and this is the one that we are talking about today. The beauty of a good book is that it draws you in. I think if you noticed that whatever I've read to you till now, it becomes such an interesting read that you want to know this mystery relationship between these two characters, Mariam and Jalil. Now, let me go further. It was this last piece that slipped from Mariam's fingers that fell to the wooden floorboards of the kolba and shattered. So this was the last piece, and it slipped from Mariam's fingers and fell onto the wooden floorboards of the kolba. As I said, kolba is a place where they meet, and she breaks the old relic, the cherished relic of her mother Nana, and it's gone. When Nana saw the bowl, her face flushed red and her upper lip shivered, and her eyes, both the lazy one and the good, settled on Mariam in a flat, unblinking way. So when Nana, who's Mariam's mother, saw the broken bowl, probably, she was angry. Her face flushed red. Flushed red meaning, the face was red with anger. Flushed means it's full of red color. So basically her emotions are all up. She's angry at Mariam for breaking the tea set, which was dear to her because it's been passed down from generation to generation. Relic. I told you the meaning of in the last paragraph, right? Which was in the last paragraph, this word. And her upper lip shivered. Shiver means to tremble, kapkapana. So that's the word in Hindi for it. So her upper lip shivered and her eyes, both the lazy one and the good, meaning that probably one of her eyes, Nana's eyes, does not open properly, and the good one opens normally, as everyone's eyes do. So probably the writer has played with the words here and explained to you that both the lazy one and the good settled on Miriam in a flat, unblinking way. Blinking of eye means when your eyes move, that's called blinking. So here Naina's eyes, the good one and the lazy one, which does not blink much, did not blink at all, and they settled on Miriam's face, and they were just looking. So the Naina was just looking at Miriam without blinking her eyes, and so which means that her attention is on Miriam. Flushed red with anger, she's like, she's upset about the fact that Miriam has destroyed her important relic, which has been passed down from generation to generation, and she wants to confront her as to why she did that. So that's what the writer talks about here. I've completed almost one page of the book. What do you think about this book? It's such an interesting read. This particular book, let me give you a brief. This is about Mariam, who's 15-year-old, and she's sent to Kabul, which is capital of Afghanistan, to marry Rashid. Now, after 20 years, there's a friendship that grows between Mariam and a local teenager called Leila. Now, this is a beautiful story. This is where you would, find the real crux of it. I cried when I read this book the first time. It left a hole in my heart, to be very frank with you. I don't want to reveal much, but if you have not read this book, this is such an emotional read. You would get to know who Jalil is, and why Mariam is so close to him, why she wants to meet him, why she goes to the extent of defying her mother, who loves the tea set. She breaks it, and what all happens in this book. You will understand it if you read this book. And the moment, even if you're not a reader, you will want to read this book for the sheer reason that you want to explore the prose. It becomes, it's a mysterious relationship these two have, and you want to know why, what is it that's all about them. And as you flip the pages, as you move from one page to another and you explore it, you are drawn in the story. The writer beautifully makes you want to enjoy the next page and the page thereafter and the page thereafter. And it's just so gripping and such an emotional read, as I told you. If you're not reading a book, you are missing out on this juice, this love that you could have. And if the words are not difficult and you can skip a word here and there, it does not really matter. If you can do that, you're in for a good read. As I told you before in my previous videos, if you check out my previous videos about how to read books, you can skip the unnecessary part, not read the complicated description. If it does not interest you, stick to the story and you'll be able to read the book. Let me know in the comments below if you found this review or this book reading session of this book interesting. I'm sure you like this detailed review, and if you like it, give it a thumbs up, show some love, like this video, subscribe to my channel. Guys, a very happy new year to you. I hope you like this video and you show some love to the review of these two books that I have given in this video, and I wish you all the best in the year to come. May 2022 be a great year for you and you fulfill at least one of my wish, which is book reading. Hope you read lots of books and show love to the books and to this channel. Thank you so much. Bye bye.